What's up, everybody? Again, we're back here, Haas Talks, in the Haas Talks studio, located in Bob's Turn 5 at Port City Raceway. And joining me, as promised, Trey Robb. Trey, welcome to the show. You know, everybody has seen you racing and seen you on different broadcasts in the micros and everything else, but they don't necessarily know where Trey Robb comes from. You come from micros, but you left micros and did the sprint car deal. And I met you through your dad whenever you were still kind of making that transition from micros to sprint cars. But just talk about, you know, the micros, where you came from up into the sprint cars.
Yeah, I started racing junior sprints when I was 8 years old. Actually, I raced bicycles is what started me out. I started racing bicycles, and we went to Tulsa and ran the Grands. And while I was at the Grands, I saw they were racing quarter midgets next door. So I went and looked at that, and I was instantly hooked. I never really had an interest to race cars. My dad raced, but I never really showed an interest. And then I saw those quarter midgets. I was like, man, I could probably do that. And so there's nowhere that races quarter midgets around here. So we saw the junior sprints, and we came and watched the Tulsa shootout, and so we ended up getting one of those.
This was back in the days whenever the junior sprints had to have the little starter box.
Yeah, the KT100s. All the dads were running around.
Dads running around, making sure you were staying fired up.
Had to stay in the infield, yeah. Just pissed when you spun out and killed the motor.
Those were the good old days, right?
Yeah, they're carrying around a 50-pound battery with the starter on it.
That was the best. So you made the move through the ranks, through junior sprints. You ran some restrictor stuff. When was it that you were like, man, I want to be a sprint car racer? Like, because your dad, like you said, your dad raced, and he raced factory stocks and the modifieds
pro
and
stocks,
pro stocks and things like that. But when was it that you were like, man, I want to be a sprint car driver?
Well, I mean, they're the baddest machines on the planet, dude. I mean, besides late models, but sprint cars are just, there's nothing that compares to it, man. They're awesome. They're beasts, and I think the baddest drivers on the planet drive sprint cars. So,
well, that's a statement. We can mark that down. Use that as a quote. Speed sport. So, and here's the craziest thing of it all: how everything kind of works in for full circle. Your first sprint car ride was with who?
Western Flyer Express.
That's nuts. Mind blowing.
And now I'm racing with. Well, Randy put me in the car, and that catapulted me to all kinds of races and all kinds of stuff.
So it was a 360 sprint car that you raced at State Fair Speedway. Rest in peace. # long gone.
Yeah.
But you were, before everything went away there in Oklahoma City, you became the youngest driver to ever win a sprint car race at the fairgrounds. Talk about that, just that history and that legacy that you've left. I mean, that's pretty spectacular, right?
Oh yeah, I mean there's been some amazing drivers run at State Fair Speedway. So to be the youngest driver to win a sprint car race there is that's pretty special, and I can't believe that place is gone. But we just have good memories of that place. So
you did the sprint car deal. You get hooked up with Paul Cook, George White, those guys. That we had a lot of fun with them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't like. I've known you for a long time, and I got to travel with you up and down the road, and we made up some silly songs and watch Wayne's World and everything else in the tote home up and down the road. But so you made the transition. You ran some sprint car asphalt stuff as well, right?
Yeah. After I ran a year at the fairgrounds, and then we went and ran ASCS National Tour. And I think I ran like 7th in points that year. And then Paul Cook decided he wanted to build a pavement sprint car and go pavement sprint car racing. So he builds this bad to the bone pavement sprint car. And it was pretty much unbeatable, man. From the first time it went on the track. My second race, actually, I won. And then we won like 7 or 8 races in a row. And it was that car was just insane. The easiest car I've ever had to drive. Really? It was unstoppable.
So what was it like? You try and remember back. I mean, this is years ago. Try and remember back
like
to being
14
You're
years
how old
ago.
now?
28.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I've known you that long. Holy cow. So you think back, you're 14, 15 years old, running an asphalt sprint car. what's going through your mind? I mean, like, what was that transition like? Was it something that you had to like really try at, or was it something that you were just, it was a good piece, you're a natural talent, it was kind of just like an easy transition and easy feel to everything?
It was a pretty easy transition, honestly. It just really fit my style. I felt like pavement racing. I took to it really well. Like I had a pavement midget too. We never got to race it because I wasn't old enough to run USAC pavement stuff. But I practiced it a bunch and I felt really good in it. We had good speed, and we just ended up never running it. When I turned 17 or so, we kind of just had a bunch of stuff happen, and I got burnt out, and I quit for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Took
I
a
just
break.
I stopped having fun with it, so I just completely got out of it.
Explored other things, and then a tornado comes through and wipes everything out, and just a lot of crazy things. Now, fast forward 10 years, 12 years, you're back in racing. You're still a top dog. You're still one of the names that everybody knows. Looking back now, do you wish that you would have done things different? Do you wish that things would have panned out in a different route? I mean, as far as like maybe car owners, a different car owner getting approached, or do you wish you would have stuck it out for those years that you took a break? Do you have any regrets is what I'm trying to get at?
No, I don't have no regrets, man.
No regrets?
No regrets. No, I had a fun time racing sprint cars and midgets and everything that I got to do, and then when I stepped away from it, I just was a normal kid for a while, because I raced every weekend from the time I was 8 till I was 17 and never really did anything else. So it was good to, I think, step away, be
a kid, go down and build trucks with your friends and go riding up and down the river and tearing stuff up and being crazy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just kind of being so focused on the same routine all the time.
It's a grind. You got to be a special type of person to go up and down the road like that all the time. So,
and now, you guys have still the top of the line equipment. Everything's nice. You guys take care of everything. And now you're starting to go up and down the road some. Do you feel like some of those experiences from whenever you were younger, you're able to like kind of flash back and think about different things like that?
Yeah, it definitely helps us out. Mainly just knowing to, when you're taking a shower in the toter home, not leave the water on all the time. It's terrible when you run out of water when you're on the road. You don't have nowhere to fill it up.
It's the little thing. Speaking of water on the road, tell the story about the time whenever you were younger and you guys were going to a race and the tank fell out of the toter. Do you remember that?
It wasn't the water tank. It was the
gray tank, wasn't it?
No, it was a black tank.
Oh,
it was a crapper tank, dude.
And the highway patrol dude pulls over, right?
Yeah, so it falls off. We don't know it falls off because it's plastic, so it doesn't throw any sparks. Well, it grinds the bottom off of the tank. And I mean, shit, it went everywhere. So we finally, like, somebody pulls up next to us and is like, "Y'all are spilling diesel," and we're like, "All right, well, we'll pull over." We start looking at it. Definitely wasn't diesel, and then. So we've got just a long stream behind us, and we're pulled over. Cops roll up, and Will Orr, which is Christopher Bell's uncle, he's under there. He's trying to strap it up with a ratchet strap, and he's like, "Oh, I got shit in my eye, man." So we're just dying laughing. These cops walk up, and they're just walking right through it with their flashlights, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a call of a diesel spill." And I'm like 13 years old, and I was like, "No, that's poop, sir." And they immediately like, "Oh, all right, well, we got another call. We got to go."
Yeah, we got to
just left.
We got to get out.
We don't, this ain't part of our job right here.
So you, I know I'm just all over the place, but you've ran midgets, you've ran sprint cars, and here recently you've actually jumped in one of the Dave Mack cars and ran. What's it like now driving a midget compared to driving a midget whenever you were 15?
I'm a lot less nervous. I'll tell you that. Like, I don't know. And I think it was he Cody and them, they made me so comfortable in that car and put full confidence behind me that I was going to do well. I knew I was in nice equipment, and that's why I really wanted to run that car. I didn't want to come back and run a midget and not have what everybody else has, and then I'd give myself that excuse to, well, I didn't do good because I didn't have a Toyota
Right.
or an SR11 or anything. So I got in their car, best of the best you can get, and I think I proved to myself I could do it again. So I'd like to run some more midget stuff. So we're trying to put some stuff together, but we'll see how it goes.
It's kind of hard for you now because now you're grown up and you're actually running the business, running the Select Coatings.
Yeah.
What's that like, juggling just everything? I know you've got a lot of great people helping you behind the scenes as far as, Ted and Gage and Layden. Everybody kind of works on the cars together. But what's that like for you? Like, for example, this weekend, there's a big paying race up in Indiana. You're not able to go because Dad's like, hey, bro, you got a business to run.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really my dad or anybody. We just got super busy, and you got to be thankful for that in times like what we got now. So it can be pretty scary, but thankfully we're really busy at work. And yesterday I thought we were gonna have to have you draw for us because I mean, we were just slammed all day and we didn't get to leave when we wanted to. So, but that's a good thing, and it's good to have a place like Port City where we can come and have a good time and race somewhere close, and a bunch of good people running this track. So I'm just thankful for that.
So last night we did some qualifying. We did qualifying in non-wing and A-class. Something that most micro tracks don't do. I mean, out in California they do it, but around here it's not something that's done at all. What was like your mindset going into qualifying? Are you like, I got to bang the boards, I got a tub? Were you like, I just need to make a solid lap and not spin out?
I have the same mindset every time I go on the track. I drive my car as hard as it can possibly go, no matter what. So my mindset wasn't any different going into qualifying. Just make a good lap and drive it as hard as you can. It's been forever since I've qualified a micro. Back in the NMMA days, they used to qualify.
Right.
And that went away right when I started racing micros, but it's been 20 years since I've been anywhere that qualified micros.
That is just wild to me. You've been racing that long. This is crazy. Take me on a trip around a lap at Port City Raceway. Your qualifying lap. You roll out onto the track, just full throttle down the back straightaway. Are you already knowing where you're wanting to go before you ever roll on the track? Or your guys telling you, hey man, it's middle up, middle down?
Yeah. My guys are watching the times in the pits and constantly coming and like, he just ran quick time, this is where he ran, or this guy ran a good lap and he ran right here. So they're kind of telling me where to go. And so I already know where I'm going to run before I go out. So I'm not trying to search. You only got 2 laps, so you got to hit both of them. So I just try to make the first lap, go down the back straightaway, shift first to second, get a bunch of speed, go up high in 3 and 4, turn it down so you can get as much speed down the front straightaway as you can, and hopefully the first lap will be the best one, because second lap you're not going to have that much speed coming down the front straightaway.
So Port City Raceway races, it's a lot tighter than like I-44 where you cut your teeth. You grew up at I-44 Riverside Speedway week in and week out. That place carries a lot of speed, and you're able to kind of air it out and stretch it out. Things here seem a little bit tighter. Racing-wise, throughout the feature last night, there was some pretty tight racing. I mean, nice side-by-side for lap after lap. What's going through your mind whenever you've got a guy that's just sticking right with you side-by-side for 3 or 4 laps where you're like, golly, come on. Is it like a fly that you're like, dude, just go away? Like, how are you keeping your cool? Are you getting worked up? Are you?
No, I'm just trying to make clean laps, because like what you were talking about last night when I was racing with Harley, I felt like we were side by side for 10 laps, man. Just dead even going down the straightaways every time, and he's good at running the middle and the bottom, really, really good. And I knew I had a little bit more speed I could find on top. I just had to running the top here is it's crazy. The curb gets huge, and it's pretty cowboy up there. So I just had to figure out how to get just a little bit more speed, and I finally figured it out and kind of started to pull away a little bit.
Whenever you're racing with guys like Harley or Frank, for example, you and Frank have put on some tremendous shows here. Chris Andrews, you guys get up there and start slicing and dicing and putting on shows. Do you feel any added pressure whenever you're rolling into a feature like a few weeks back whenever you beat Frank on his birthday or whatever? Do you feel any added pressure of like, I know that dude's good, but I know I'm good? Do you feel anything like, man, I've got to prove it right here? You know, kind of win it or wear it type of deal?
I think we both feel like Frank is just, he's the GOAT of micros. Then there's no question about it. I think he's won all of the races, the shootout. He's great. So anytime you can even run with Frank, you got to consider that a good night. But when you get to beat him, sometimes,
yeah.
I mean, he's beat me more times than I've beat him.
Right.
Yeah, it feels good when you can outrun Frank Flood.
So outrunning, I mean, any competitor, outrunning any competitor is great. What about outrunning your brother or Layden, your teammates? Do you race them even harder than you race Frank?
I feel like we all race each other about the same, but the times that I get to race and throw sliders with my brother and Layden, which he's my brother too.
Yeah, he's been around.
I've known him since he was knee high to a grasshopper.
You've known him since he was Lele.
Yeah, and so anytime you get to race them, it's always a special time. Especially like racing. There's been a few times at 44 that me and my brother have been racing for the lead, and that's just our home track, and like we're sliding each other for the lead, and those are some of the best times racing.
So what's it like whenever you get back to the trailer after a race with your brother and you're sliding and you beat him? Are you like taking off your helmet, looking at him like, "What's up, dude? I got you."
No, we just give each other a hug and say good race, and it's all good. We're never really mad at each other. I felt bad for Layden last night because I spun him out hard on the front straightaway, but I didn't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So I'm apologizing. He's like, it wasn't your fault.
Right.
Because he got bumped and got kind of turned sideways, and I was going way faster because I was running the top.
Yeah.
Smoked him, so I felt bad about that, but he knew.
Speaking of running the top, you and some old boys from the 405 come up with this brand tops up here, bud, and people just love it. Like, they're just in love with it. How did that all come about? I mean, I know I should probably have Bogsy and Marcham and Ted here, but how in the world were you guys just like sitting around drinking some Lobies one night and like?
Well, we were at the Knoxville Nationals. It was the second time I'd ever been there, but the first time I was like 12, so
didn't count.
It wasn't the full Nationals experience. You know, you can't go to Dingus and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we were at the Dingus. It was me, Gage, Josh Marcham, and Ted. And we're standing there drinking out by where they play cornhole and stuff. And like, and you know what? It's about selling merch. Like, you don't always have to win the races, but if you put on a show for the fans and you can sell T-shirts, that's what it's about. It's about the fans, you know. We need to start a T-shirt company. And so we're like, well, what can we call it? We got to have a cool name, something
catchy.
Something catchy.
Yeah.
And Josh Marston's like, something about the top. What about tops up here, bud? And we're like, that's it. Like, the light bulb went off, like, that's it. We're doing it. And, yeah, so that was, Tub was created in the Dingus at Knoxville.
That's wild. And then you bring in Boggs, who's like just
epic designer guy.
He's out in left field on his design stuff. Like, he's like
crazy.
You talk. It's not outside the box. He's outside the universe. Like, just his thoughts and his sense of humor goes a long way. So like the first shirt that rolls out, are you guys like super amped and super pumped? Are you like?
Well, we make this shirt, and I'm like, we just got it. Let's make it ridiculous. Just crazy colors.
It's
just
ridiculous.
The most ridiculous shirt you've ever seen. Just put a lot of Easter eggs that people like kind of got to find in the shirt. And so he rolls out this car, a midget with an S-slinger in it, ripping the top, And then we decided to put a catfish on the bottom, but not like a car that's running the bottom like catfish sign. We actually put a catfish with wheels on it and a header coming out the side. And we're like, well, let's just order like 144 of these shirts and just see what happens and we'll take them to the Chili Bowl and the shootout. Well, we don't even make it past practice day at the shootout, and we got like 10 shirts left. And so we sell out of our first shirt in 2 days. We sold 144 of them. And so then we're scrambling like, well, what are we going to do for Chili Bowl? Like, we can't get these shirts made that fast, because we didn't really know anybody that we were new to it, so we didn't know any T-shirt people. So we made some beanies just to have something to sell at Chili Bowl. And Boggs can sell anything, man.
Yeah.
He'd go up to people.
He puts that chain on. He puts his chain on and goes to work.
He'd go up to girls' boyfriends and be like, hey, your girlfriend said she wanted this shirt. Told me to come get some money from you. And they'd give him $25. They didn't even say they wanted it. He'd go hand her a shirt.
They didn't even have a girlfriend. They're like, okay, yeah, here's $25, man.
Yeah, that girl over there said you were going to pay for this.
I have a girlfriend? I'm like, heck yeah, man. Tub just got me a shirt and a girlfriend. That's what I'm talking about. Sweet, man. Showing. Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt. The good memories of running up and down the road. Do you have any admiration of maybe one day going back to a sprint car full-time or going back to a midget full-time, or do you see like what you're doing fitting in the realm of Trey Robb's life, fitting in the life of Ice Trey?
Yeah, if anything, I would want to run a midget, like a full, not a full like USAC season, but like run all the like
big shows,
like the BC 39, Chili Bowl, Turkey Night, Midget Week.
Right.
So that would be, and I don't want to run my own stuff. I don't want to have to
maintain it,
do
it all.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
And like everybody's like renting rides, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the cost to put all your own stuff together and go running up and down the road and have a truck
the time
and trailer,
and everything
you're
else,
gonna spend way more money than having somebody else's stuff that's just top notch every time you just show up with your helmet bag and drive it. So that's my goal, is to work hard and make some money, and then rent me a ride for a year or so. Just see where it goes. Just rent it for a year.
Yeah.
Run a bunch of races and see what happens, you know.
Do you have a bucket list of like races that you want to win, either in a micro or anything? Is there like a bucket list of races that A, maybe you haven't been to yet, or B, that you want to win? And what do you feel like so far has been like your quote unquote claim to fame, like your biggest accomplishment?
Bucket list race to win. I mean, obviously Chili Bowl. That's going to be the hardest race I think that's the hardest auto race to win.
Right.
I mean, Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, they make it look easy, but I think they're not from this planet. They're just
Martians.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, you see what Kyle Larson's doing right now. He's just making everybody look stupid.
Yeah.
The best of the best, and he's just blowing their doors off every night.
You know what would be awesome is if he won one night and he took his fire suit and he freaking ripped it open and he had a Tub shirt on.
No, that'd be incredible.
That's whenever you know Tubbs made it.
Yeah.
We need to get on that. Hey, Young Money, give me a call after you watch the show on the Flow Racing, because we all know you watch Hoss Talks. Just give me a shout, bud. Text me, email me, slide in my DMs.
Have your people talk to our people. We'll get that set up.
We'll get that set up, and we'll just get that.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal at all. No, I mean, it's just something simple. I mean, there's no details to work out. Just send him a shirt. But
yeah, send him a shirt. Tell him to put it on.
Or
win a race.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is win all the races, and then
either that or we send it to Owen. Owen does the wing dance.
Yeah, we got small enough shirts.
We got small enough. I mean, that's easy.
Easy stuff.
All right, let me write that down real quick. Send Owen shirt. Okay.
Good to go.
So what's one race or what's one moment in your career that you feel like, or do you even feel like you've quote unquote made it? Like here I am putting words in your mouth like you're considered one of the top dogs. Anytime you say, hey, there's this big micro race happening here, who's in your top 10? You're always one of those guys. And sometimes more than not, you're like one of those top 5 guys.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself to be in the rankings with Frank Flood and Joe B. Miller and Chris Andrews and all these major players in that realm? Do you consider yourself and your team to be in that running, or are you like, man, they're outside my league, and I don't know why I get grouped into that?
No, I consider us to be up with those guys. I mean, if you go to the track and think you can't win, I don't see any point in even showing up to the racetrack. If I go to racetracks and I don't think I can win, I mean, that's when I'll hang it up. if I don't think I'm fast enough to win races. But I feel like anywhere we go, we got the equipment and we got the drivers and we got the crew that we can put it in victory lane anywhere we go. And I mean, we've won some pretty big races. Won the prelim night at the Non-Wing World Championship last year. Led over half the race, and just sometimes you step on a little bit. I mean, it happens to the best of them. But I feel like I gave that one away. And so as far as like micro races that I'd like to win, definitely I think the hustle is the High Banks Hustle is probably the top on a lot of people's lists.
Absolutely. One of a long-running, high-paying, high caliber of drivers. I mean, anybody is there. The racetrack is always good.
Yeah.
I mean, even
it's
if they have
3 lanes wide.
even if they have to bring in a helicopter,
that was crazy, man. I can't believe they did that.
It was wild,
and they
wasn't
just
it?
let everybody stand around the fence and watch it.
Yeah.
Too. I was like, well, this is cool. It's kind of dangerous, but I like the effort. I've never seen anybody do that before.
I'm sitting here trying to look at something real quick before I ask you the question, because I don't want to step on it. Going into tonight, you're locked into both features. Is that, of course, that's always a goal. Does that help you? Does that give you a little bit of relief going into tonight? You're not worried about qualifying again. You're not worried about having to finish in the top 3 of the heat race so you can move on. Does it take off a little bit of stress for you?
Yeah, that's always the goal, is to lock in, because it makes the second day a bunch easier. You can relax and you don't have to wear your fire suit in 100-degree weather for 7 hours. You can only wear it for 3 or 4 hours. So
right.
anytime you're not sweating all the time is nice. And yeah, it's good to be locked in and know you're going to start on those first few rows, because there's a lot of good drivers that run at Port City, and nobody's easy to pass. And so it's good to start ahead of them, so you don't have to spend laps trying to pass one car or stuff like that.
So now here's a follow-up question to that. Now you start near the front. You're going to be starting, I think, pole of the non-wing and like second row outside of A-class. You get to lap traffic quick here. How does that play into your plan? A lot of guys would rather be, second or third, running with 5 to go. Some guys are like, no, let me be out front, let me set the pace. What type of driver do you see yourself as being? Are you the guy that wants to be out there setting the pace, or would you rather be hunting them down and watching where they're going and being able to try different things?
I mean, there's definitely an advantage to being in second place when you come up on lap traffic, because you can see, I mean, the leader doesn't know how close the guy in second, because we don't have spotters or mirrors or anything like that, so the leader doesn't know how close second is. So, I mean, there's definitely an advantage of being in second place, because you can see if they're going to get caught up in lap traffic. You can go on a different line that might be slower, but they get caught behind a lap car. It happened to me, the DRC, with a few laps to go, and still kind of upset about that, but, it happens.
I mean, you have to be upset about that. Since you brought it up, I mean, so a lot of times you roll the top, and you're pounding the cushion, you're up there. That race, you rolled the middle so much better than everybody else. Have you guys figured something out with that Gen 3 D1? I mean, I know you've got probably one of the better of crew chiefs in Ted helping you out. You've got a guy, Shock Support from SureBuilt, Michael Sure, does an outstanding job with his customer service and just the things that he does for people in their program. You've got a strong power plant. You've got the downforce you need from Outlaw Wings. You know, those guys take care of you. Have you guys figured something out with that, or was it just perfect combination of everything that night?
Well, I think I think it was everything that night. The cushion got way up there, and I kind of ran everywhere in that race. We took off, and Frank got out in the lead, and then me and Ryan got in a slider battle for 4 or 5 laps, and then I couldn't see Frank anymore. I was like, well, he's checked out.
Yeah.
And he caught lap traffic, and it actually slowed him down a little bit, and that's where it comes in. I'm in second, so I run him down, and he's still running the top. And we had a yellow right when I got to his bumper, and then we went back green, and he went to cover up the bottom. I just rolled right around the middle, and then, I led the next 27 laps, still 2 to go. And the track kind of started, it took rubber. It's a 55-lap race. So
yeah. There's no beating that. Yeah.
And there's so many cars for the DRC.
Right.
It's almost impossible to keep it from doing that. Soft tires with the Outlaws and stuff. And so it turns into middle bottom. Well, I'm out there in the lead, and I catch this guy with 3 to go, and I don't know how close Frank is behind me. So
right.
I'm scared to step it up outside because he's running middle bottom in front of me, and
he may sneak it in on you, and then you're I don't want to get
hung out, and he somehow gets by me. So I bumped him going down the front straightaway, let the guy know I was there. Go through 1 and 2, bump him down the back straightaway. Well, when I bumped him, I think he decided that he needed to get out of the way. Well, he hit the brakes and tried to turn in the infield, and it hooked my front bumper. And then, sure enough, here comes Frank ripping around the outside. I'm like, done at that point. So,
damn. Real quick, rapid fire questions. Just I'm going to give you an option, and you pick one. Are you a wing or a non-wing guy?
Non-wing.
Are you a let's adjust the shocks or let's adjust the stagger type of guy?
Shocks, definitely.
You're a shocks guy. Are you a sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise, really? An early bird.
See it every morning. So every morning at work, I get there when it's dark still. So it's a nice sunrise over the hills over there.
Are you at Select Coatings? Are you a bacon or a sausage guy?
Bacon.
Are you a hamburger, hot dog?
Hamburger.
If you're pizza topping, what pizza topping are you?
Just cheese.
Just cheese.
Yeah.
A cheesy mofo.
Yeah. I'm getting older now. I get heartburn, so if I put pepperonis or anything like that, it's just that much worse. So I try to stay away from that.
Whenever you're not at the racetrack, what are you out doing?
I'll just goofing off with the Tub Boys, man.
Just goofing?
Yeah. Just
new kart goofing?
New boot goofing.
New boot goofing?
We built go-kart tracks and pit bike tracks, whatever we want.
We can't have this interview without mentioning somebody special in your life. We got to give a shout out to Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Dude, she puts up with some crap. I don't know how she does it.
I mean,
is she so at the racetrack here? Let's talk about Jersey for a little bit. Jersey, this one's for you. Here we go. Let's talk about Jersey. She's content. She's kind of quiet and kind of back here. Whenever you guys are out and about, does she have a wild side or not?
She'll break loose every once in a while when we're out.
At your brother's wedding, she got wild. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. I'm pretty excited for our wedding for round 2, have everybody there. It's going to be all the same people.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a big party, you know.
It'll be good.
All of my friends there.
For somebody that doesn't know Trey Robb, how would you describe Trey Robb and his racing?
Serious about it. You know, I want to win every time we get to the track, and I want my other 2 cars. I want to win. I want them to run second and third, you know. So I want to take the whole podium every time we come to the track.
And what's something that people may not know about Trey Robb?
May not know. I feel like I'm pretty good at karaoke. I like to sing karaoke.
After a few drinks, he is a karaoke master.
Oh, yeah.
Get up there on some T-Pain. Hey, guys, this has been Trey Robb on Haas Talks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Introducing the Performance Electronics Wideband O2 sensor with Bluetooth. With just 3 wires, installation couldn't be easier. Quickly connect your smartphone to our simple app to monitor your engine's air-fuel ratio in real time without gauges. The PE Wideband O2 sensor is just one of many performance electronics products that can add brains and brawn to your next high-performance project. Find them all at pe-ltd.com.